was
what does a
grocery
grocery store
store
look like?
that you would find in The Sims. I know I say that about a lot of things nowadays. Like, that's something that looks like it'd be in The Sims.
Yeah,
This grocery store was like a Sims grocery store.
you're right.
It was a Sims grocery
It was a Sims grocery
Yeah,
store.
down to adding the food to the cart.
That was very much my lead. I was getting, in fact, I feel like a little triggered recording this podcast of how angry
same,
it got
just
me.
for my dislike
Yeah.
of the place.
Yeah.
You gotta let it down, 'cause you can work wherever now.
All right, so we went to an Amazon Fresh. We found one. We were driving by. We didn't really seek this out or anything like that, but we did. When we were driving home, we found one, and this is our review of Amazon Fresh. In-store purchase, 0 human interaction.
That's actually not true.
Welcome to the Work Wherever podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about AI, automation, the ability to work wherever, so you can live every day like it is Saturday. And this is a homegrown episode, which is where me and my wife, we talk about things that pertain to the house, homeschooling, although today is not a homeschooling episode, but
We brought the kids. It was a field trip.
it was a field trip. We can call it a field trip. So we went to Amazon Fresh. We were leaving a swim meet, and we were just driving by, and we were like, what were we talking about getting? Ice cream
Ice cream and Gatorade.
and Gatorade. So we were leaving the swim meet, and the line was super long to get food. And one of our kids was like, I want food. And we're like, I'm not waiting in that line. Let's go. And we were driving by, and I was like, ooh, Amazon Fresh. Because they're not available everywhere. So they're not, I don't know if you knew that. Did you know that?
Well, it's, I think, maybe the first or second location I saw.
Right.
I've
There's like
seen.
trial cities.
Right.
And we're a trial city. Well, Alexandria is a trial
Lucky
city.
us. Lucky Northern Virginia.
So, right. So we got to try an Amazon Fresh, which I have a couple pictures. So maybe we'll post some pictures of the cart.
Yeah.
And it is so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about our experience. We're going to do a rating on whether or not we think it is thumbs up,
Worth your
thumbs
time.
down, worth your time. And we'll give the pluses and negatives along the way. So do you want to go first? Just talk about the experience, and then I'll talk about it. Because I think that
Sure,
we had
okay,
two different
so-
experiences, even though we were in it together.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so you walk in, and the carts are just presented to you.
Right.
They have a lot of bells and whistles. I mean, a lot.
And there's a video walkthrough guide.
The cart is cheaply made. It's plastic, which I personally do not like. I feel like they could have spent a little more, since Amazon makes so much darn money. They could have spent a little more on the carts. You can pick up on this part because you did all of the logging
I
in.
did. I was the one who did all of
Yeah.
the scanning.
You should talk about that.
Yeah.
Logging in. How did you log in with the cheap plastic cart?
So I logged in by you come up into the application or up into the store. You walk up to the cart. It sees you're there for somehow, and then it like starts asking you questions.
There's
Like,
cameras all over it.
right. All cameras are all over it, and scanners. And so it was like, pull out your phone. And so in the Amazon app, which I have open it right now, there is above the top, it says in-store code.
Mm-hmm. So
And
the same one that you use at like Whole Foods.
Correct. And so that in-store code, it says like what your payment method is and all that other stuff. And when you scan the QR for your in-store code, it knows who you are. And then, but whichever payment method for supported stores you used, it's going to use that to pay for your groceries.
Right.
Right. So that's how it works. And then once you're logged in, a cool thing that did happen right away was it pulled up our Amazon shopping list.
Which you think is cool.
I think it's cool.
I personally wasn't
You weren't a big
of that,
fan of it. Yeah.
for a couple reasons.
Yeah.
One of the reasons is because a lot of times, well, the kids will just add ridiculous stuff on the Amazon shopping list.
There's a lot of ridiculous stuff
I like
on
to
there.
keep my own shopping list. So if you're somebody who like actually uses your Amazon shopping list, like Alexa or Amazon, add this to my shopping list, butter, whatever, then maybe you would like that. I just keep my shopping list actually in a Microsoft to-do note, and I just, because I like just checking it off that way, and that's what I use is my Microsoft to-do note.
There was probably about 40 things on our Amazon shopping list, none of which we actually needed.
They're like song lyrics and just like ridiculous stuff.
And so it was actually a little overwhelming.
Right, because you have to actually like sort through it, and you're like, okay, what is actually on my list?
Right. Now, if you keep a well kept Amazon shopping list, then maybe it would be beneficial.
I'm
And so when
sure it
you
would.
log in, it does have like you click shopping list and it kind of pops out and it tells you where what it is. And you can check it off and like
Exactly
what
what
aisle it
aisle it's
is.
in.
Yeah.
But also, I'm just like, ugh, because it's just another example of like where technology is just keeping you from
Yeah.
thinking. Like, no longer do you need to plan your shopping list beforehand or your meal plans or even where you find your groceries.
Right.
You go into this store, it pops up with the list, and then it shows you this is exactly where it is.
One thing
It's
that
like, oh, okay.
one thing that I doesn't necessarily like I don't know if I liked or didn't like, but I mean I guess I didn't like it. But was when you logged in, there's a screen. And so on that screen it is going to tell you like what you've purchased when you scan and what's in your cart, quite literally in your cart. But since it has my Amazon records of what I've purchased, it starts targeting me for what I want to buy and telling
You
me
have to
what
look at your phone the whole time.
basically.
It's like,
You're either looking at the screen or your phone, because that was the first thing you said was
put your phone down,
Put your
pay
phone
attention
away.
to all these kids. I need
Yeah.
help. They're all 4 children
Right, and
running
I'm
around
like,
Amazon trying
I
to
can't put my
gather
phone
up the
down because
produce.
this is how this is
Yeah.
how we're grocery
I
shopping.
was like, great. So yes, look at his phone the whole time. It was also had a very depressing vibe. There were
No
like,
one's there.
well, there's no one there. I
Yeah.
saw maybe 3 people working there, and they just kind of have their head down. They're very like,
No one's really talking.
no one's talking. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like sad for these people because you think about when you're in a work environment. I mean, even if you're virtual, you're engaging with people, like whether
Yeah.
it's through like chat or like
No,
meetings.
for real though, yeah.
But these people, like, they're on completely different sides of the stores,
yeah.
probably for a reason, right? And so they don't get much interaction, and the customers are not interacting with them because
Everyone's on their phone.
everyone's on their phone.
Or the little
you don't have
tablet
to ask where
cart,
anything
yeah.
is.
Now I will say that our experience, what we did, we went straight for the tech cart. You don't have to use the tech cart. So there is an option to use a normal cart and do a normal self-checkout, but we knew that we wanted to do a podcast on this.
No one else was doing
And no one was using the regular card. That's true.
Which is also kind of depressing.
Yeah, everyone went straight for it, which as soon as you walk in, so like when you walk up to the building, they have the carts, like the normal carts, I'll say in quotations, or over to the left, like any other grocery store. But then when you walk into the grocery store, they have the tech carts that have the bags in them where they're like, step 1, put your bags in the cart, right?
Yeah, you can't think about anything
right
on your
there
own.
in front of you. Yeah.
It's like step 1, step 2, push the cart to aisle 9.
Very tech. It was very tech heavy in the beginning. Now we got logged in. Because I didn't know how to log in, and I am pretty tech savvy, and I'm like, oh my, what do I do? And then I figured it out and went through the guide or whatever and got it synced up, and it pulls me up and it starts targeting me and tell me where to walk because of our shopping list. And I'm like,
And grocery shopping can already be overwhelming with
oh my
kids.
gosh.
And so when you're
we
being
had all
targeted,
4. Yeah.
you have to hold your phone and then be targeted for stuff. It's like,
Yeah. The actually, you know what? The first thing that I didn't like was there was no kid place to put James.
yeah,
Like the area where you seat your kid. What's that called?
the child seat. I don't know.
Child seat? I don't know
Yeah.
what that's called.
Yeah.
That's all cameras and scanners.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't sit somebody there. So James got one of
curious
the,
why that's like that.
right. So James had to push one of those little kid carts around, which I'm
Mhm.
glad they had one of
But
those.
you couldn't put anything in it
Couldn't put
because
anything
you have
in
to
it.
scan everything and it's all
Yeah.
weighted. You have to keep everything in the cart.
Right.
So he couldn't. Yeah.
He was having a hard time with that.
Yeah, because the little kid wants to put your cart.
Yeah,
You
he's
can't
like
put
he
anything in.
wanted to get a Gatorade or a Powerade or whatever it was, and he was like, I want to put the Powerade in my cart. And so I'm like, okay. I scan it and I put it in his cart, and the tech cart starts freaking out.
Right. It's not
It's like,
recognizing it.
Put it in the cart. Put it in the cart.
Yeah.
So he freaked out. He did not like that.
I know.
Yeah. So it was pretty stressful. We did have all 4 kids with us.
Mm-hmm.
And we started walking around, and then we went straight to the produce section, which you said the produce was
It's
expensive.
definitely, yes, it's definitely pricier than other grocery stores for sure.
How does it compare to Whole Foods? Is it about the same? Because they own Amazon owns Whole Foods too.
I actually didn't even get walking into the produce section too much because I just saw the prices.
It
and I was
was-
like, I'm not
yeah.
buying produce here. I would say it was probably right around Whole Food prices.
Yeah. I kind of got the vibe from the store itself that it was kind of like a wannabe Whole Foods.
Is that the vibe you got?
Yeah.
So I could see that, but then also no, because I feel like when you think of Whole Foods, I think of almost like a boutique experience. This didn't really have that. It was like
It definitely
we will
tried,
give you
though.
okay chips. We give you Utz chips. Like that's it. We have like all that. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
it's like spaghetti sauce. We carry this kind of spaghetti sauce. That's it.
Yeah.
Like and like it was just like okay. There wasn't a huge like variety where like Whole Foods you can go in and find like some really like nice different type of like sauces
Yeah.
or like
It was like the
didn't have
same
that.
size as a Whole Foods though. And I feel
Yeah.
like it had similar products.
They're trying. I feel like they're maybe trying. I don't know.
It to me it gave me the impression of a wannabe Whole Foods. Like
Too much plastic for it to be Whole Foods. I feel like
it was
Whole Foods
super techy,
Whole Foods would not be
plasticky, everything.
into
Yeah.
having plastic, like all that stuff.
Yeah. And so we got through and what I'm still trying to figure out is how to get that's what I've been doing over here is swiping through, and if you guys are watching on YouTube, you're like, what is he doing on his phone this whole time? I'm trying to find my receipt because I don't know how to get the receipt.
It's very
I
strange.
still don't know how to get my receipt to see even like how much what we paid for, if I paid too much.
For as easy it is to log on and buy something, it's just as difficult to find a receipt.
Yeah. It was very difficult.
Right, that's weird.
And then all right, so that's what we did. We went straight to the produce. We'll get to the payment at the end, but we went straight to the produce. We walked through the produce. We took a look at the prices, and we were just kind of comparing a little bit. Then we walked around and went looking for ice cream, which we did end up grabbing a few extra things.
They didn't even have a very decent ice cream selection. They have like their own brand.
They do have their own brand, and I don't know the name of a brand. And
It's a Happy Belly.
Happy Belly, yeah, which is okay. It's all right.
fine.
It's ice cream. I mean, it's this. I feel like it's the same. I didn't look at the ingredients or anything like that, but I feel like it would be the same as like the 365. Is that the Whole Foods brand?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's the same thing, which it probably is. It probably is the same thing. It's okay. We had it last night. We put it in some protein shakes. It was fine. What did we get? Vanilla and Napoleon?
Neapolitan.
Napolitan.
I love that you call it that though.
Napoleon. Yeah, it was fine.
Jasmine.
Yeah, I mean, it was like here, groceries and stores. I'm still looking for this freaking
I can say one thing I did
receipt.
like about it.
What did
I
you
can
like?
say one
I
thing.
got tons of stuff I liked about it.
Okay, why didn't you go first?
No, I want to hear what you have to say about it.
So on our way out, they had a vending machine.
They did have a vending
and
machine.
It says free sample.
Yeah.
And so the kids are very excited, and so they're going up and they're checking out what this free sample is, and out pops this little
Coke Zero.
can of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
So there was that.
That was cool.
I don't see that at any grocery store.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I still can't find a receipt.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was they were very excited about that. It was like a little 7.5 ounce
Yeah.
Coke Zero. I don't know what it was, like
We all kinda
special
had, like, a
edition or
sip, and
something.
I mean, it's sugarless soda. It didn't taste all that great. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, it was kind of depressing for me. I feel like.
It was very hard, and and so like I've now gone longer than I want to admit of trying
Yeah.
to find this receipt. I'm gonna put my phone down because it's making me angry. So then we went and we got orange juice, and so when you get it, though, there are 2 cameras on where the child would normally be sitting, aimed into the cart itself, and so you scan the orange juice, and then it's like put it on the cart. It's not saying that, but the little computer screen says it, and then the cart like lights up orange, and then you put it in. And so another thing that was kind of weird was it is a huge plastic cart. And did you notice that there's 2 carts? Like the inside cart is like not separated to the
Yeah,
outside.
it's like a scale or something.
Yeah, it is a scale.
Right.
Which our daughter loves to
Oh yeah.
ride on the cart,
Right. What kid doesn't?
and it keeps telling me that we added something in.
Mm.
So it's like unidentified food is in the cart.
30-pound child.
Right. What did you just add? So like I'm like, get off the cart, And then my youngest is running into me with the thing. And so it was like, oh my gosh. And then,
So something that's like normal in a regular grocery store, right? Your kid hanging on the cart, your other kid ramming you with the child cart.
and so we're like, all right, what you do is you find the item, you touch the item, and then you scan it again, and it
Right.
removes it from the cart.
But
Or
like,
at
is
least,
that really easier?
no. It was,
not?
that was my most frustrating part of the
Yes.
whole experience, is because I don't know if you know this or not.
Oh, I remembered this with the chicken.
The chicken, instead of we tried to remove the chicken because Haley's like, I'm gonna get this chicken. We'll eat dinner. We'll get this chicken. And I'm like,
Okay.
all right, cool. Put it in. Scan. Beep. All right, put it in the thing. Right. And now it's in the cart. And then she's like, actually, you know what? We're not gonna get the chicken. Okay, cool. Remove. Scan. Beep. Except when I went to remove it and scanned it, it scanned it again as if I'm buying another one.
Yeah.
So it put it on as 2. And I'm like, all right. And so I handed it to Haley. Haley went and put it back. And I'm realizing it never removed it. There's 2 chickens. Hey, Haley, you need to go back and get the chicken. So we went over and back to get the chicken. We scanned it. Doesn't remove it. And we're like, okay, well, maybe it was a different one. And so we're like trying to.
Adding all these chickens.
We're like, so we have all these chickens. And the guy who works there, like, he's like,
He like popped up.
yeah, he just came out of nowhere. He's like, yeah, I have to scan it. I'm like,
He did. He kind of like a very.
he like popped up on me.
But you know what? You think about a person that works in a grocery store like that, who expects to be left alone all day. It took him a lot to come out of his
Yeah.
shell. You could tell the way that
He definitely
responded.
did not want to talk to anybody.
You need something.
You need something? Like,
We were like causing a fuss about it. Like, stop it! I'm trying to deal
so
with this stinking
pissed.
cart. And he like, you need something?
I'm like, I don't know. He's like, and I kind of
No,
snapped at him
you
because I
did.
thought he said, you have to scan it. I thought that's what he said. I kind of like snapped at him. I was like, do I? And he said, but what he actually
You
said
did
was,
say that. I was like, oh no, Roy just yelled at his guy.
I didn't like yell. I mean, I guess I kind of snapped at him.
Yeah.
But what he actually said was, do you need any help? And I said, do I?
yeah.
And so he came over and and I guess there's like a button where you can like edit your cart, where you can like change the how many items you have, and you can remove items much easier. So by watching him do it, I'm like, oh, okay, like that makes sense. But it was like an override, and then my cart like flashed orange. So it was like letting people know like I'm messing with it manually instead of using it to scan out.
Which is just weird. Like it's just like
it was
too much
tough.
tech stuff.
Yeah.
I
I do understand the reason why they're doing it, because they're what they're trying to do.
labor's getting too expensive and they're
Yeah.
trying to just
But-
know.
The experience that I like a lot more is the Giant. So we have Giant near us, and have you used the hand scanners?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So the hand scanners, you
Yeah.
walk around, you have this little hand
Totally.
scanner, you take something down, you beep
Yep.
it, you put it in, and then you carry the little hand scanner around, and then
Mhm.
when you get to the self-checkout,
yeah.
you scan the hand scanner,
Yeah.
and it uploads everything you have, and you self-pay, and you walk out.
Still get a metal cart, still get the spot on
Right.
the cart where you can put your child.
Yep.
Child can still climb on the side of the cart.
Yeah.
Don't have to deal with all the other stuff. You can actually be in an uplifting setting where like there's
Right.
people walking around trying to help you.
It's the same grocery store that you would have gone to otherwise. This grocery store, my biggest gripe, so I actually liked that I could go around and scan stuff in. I liked that. There was no line, although I used the wrong payment method. So my default payment method was the incorrect payment method, so I had to change the payment method, and that was actually kind of a hassle to like walking out, because so like ideally you would just walk through the normal thing, and then it would
It's done.
charge your Amazon a cart, and you just walk out, right? But my payment account, I had the wrong card set up, and so like it like beeps, it's like beep 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 beep, and I'm like, oh crap. So you gotta log into the app, and you gotta do all the stuff, and it's like it was kind of it didn't. I think in an ideal world it would have been nice,
Right.
but it's not reality, especially with 4 kids walking around. And I'm like, hold on, guys, like I gotta log into the app to get my code
Which is
so
like
that I
the
can
opposite of,
rescan
like-
it into the cart.
Right.
It was just, that was tough. Scanning everything in though, I kind of liked it. I think
Why do you think they make it like that? Because it honestly, when it came to
I don't
chicken,
know.
I was like, let's just buy the chicken. I'm like, just like done with it,
Yeah.
right? Because it's easy. Oh yeah, we'll make it easy to buy something. Not so easy
It
to
wasn't
find the
easy to
receipt.
get it out.
Not so easy.
Right,
To
I don't
take
know
it
whether-
off.
That's the thing is,
That's how that kind of stuff works.
I don't know if I paid for 2 chickens or not. I still don't know.
You probably
And-
paid for 4 chickens.
And I don't even know how to check if I did or didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm in my Amazon app and I go to orders like I would with like anything else that I've ever bought, it's not there. And then if I go into the in-store experience,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing there. It's just the QR code.
Hmm.
And so I don't know how to find what we bought. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm sure there's a way, and I'm sure that it's probably easy once I understand how to do it. But me,
It's not user friendly.
it's not. It's not user friendly at all.
And they could have made it user friendly, but there's a reason why they didn't.
There's probably definitely a reason where
Well,
it's
the
like
reason is that it makes it difficult to.
you thought you wanted it, keep it
Yeah.
in your cart.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of removing it. I could definitely see. Here's who I think that this experience would be really good for. I do not think it would be good for people with children.
No.
It is adding a next level stress
Yes.
for somebody with children. I do think that it would be good for somebody who is super organized with their Amazon shopping list.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, all right, because when you beep it, when you scan whatever it is, it's going to show whether it's on your Amazon shopping list or not, and you're just going to keep you organized if that's what you use.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I do think that is good. If you use your Amazon shopping list and it's going to tell you on the aisle that it's going to be in. If you're a regular shopper within Amazon, like I said, I got targeted for like the wine that I get off of, because I do use Amazon Fresh for like deliveries, and we buy a very specific type of wine that we get, and it told me what aisle it was in. It was like recommendations, here's your wine, you know? So like that was cool. If I was by myself, like
I like a good treasure hunt.
yeah, I mean, it definitely, so like that's where we're different. Like you like to like walk around. I hate grocery shopping. I hate being in stores. So like you're definitely different than that. Like you enjoy like window shopping or like making decisions. You're like, oh, what about this? You know? Oh, like let's check out this aisle. You know? And me, I'm like, nope. Like get in, get out. Like I am here for like 2 things. Those are the only 2 things I'm getting. I'm not changing.
Do you think it would be faster to run into Giant and grab 2 things and run out, or do you think it would be faster to go in
Oh.
and use that cart and then like
Any other grocery store will be faster.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
Now there's still the other, and that's a good question, because like I feel like it's supposed to speed the process.
I don't think it's supposed to speed the process. I think it's supposed to desensitize us from human interaction so that we can prepare to go to Mars.
That's probably true. You're probably right though, because
Yeah,
like
that's my immediate feeling in walking in this. I'm like, this is the next stage. Like COVID was like step 1, like
Yeah.
Amazon Fresh grocery
Right.
stores is like step 2.
right.
Right?
It's like 0 human interaction. Don't talk to your neighbor.
right.
Like
All
you don't have to
digital.
touch anything.
Amazon owned it all.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of
You know?
creepy.
So,
So there was like, I think there was like 3 people that we saw, that worked there.
Yeah, there were.
and 2 of them were loading produce. Like one of them was loading produce or like milk or something, and the other person was doing like the meats or whatever that was.
Mhm.
And then the last person was hanging out at the self-checkout line, which we didn't go to because we did the Amazon Fresh version.
Right.
But they
Or
didn't.
She was just on her phone at the self checkout.
She was just kind of hanging out. She
So-
was like, "Why am I here?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they had a real checkout line.
It gave me the vibe of like, you know how if you get like court ordered community service
Yeah.
and you have to go and like work at like a Goodwill or something like that,
Yeah.
it kind of felt like that was the place where you go to where you're just kind of like,
Right.
okay.
Like exactly. Like I got a DUI, so I have to hang
Yeah.
out here for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the vibe that just totally gave me that vibe.
That's true. Yeah, so the adding to the cart, at first I was like, this is cool. And then I was like, beep, and it's like, you bought this. Here's everything that's in your cart. I'm like, this is great. And then our daughter starts hanging on it, and my cart's beeping at me. My kids are like wanting to change things out, and I'm trying to like remove things from the cart.
Normal
I
things
hated
that happen
that.
in a grocery
Right.
store are difficult.
Just like, right. These things happen constantly in a grocery store. I mean, I don't know many people that go to the grocery store and don't change their mind.
right.
you know?
Well, one thing or another.
Right. So that was very frustrating. And then I'm trying to think of what else I didn't like. Yeah, I mean, those are the biggest things, I feel like. Getting started, although I feel like the next time I would know how to do it. And then removing it from the cart, which next time, if there is a next time, I'm not confident that it would work, or at least be of a way where I would be. Please don't try and play with the wire of my microphone.
Sorry.
It's going to go bad. That's what happened last time. Yeah, I'm not confident that I'd be able to remove things. Right?
I mean, not unless that guy is standing near you. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's true. In the intro, I said that there was no human interaction, but there was the one guy.
It wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, and I guess at grocery store, it's not necessary for you to have human interaction either at this point. But I can't tell you how many times I go through even like the self-checkout area, and they always have the one person like standing at the end who's like there to help you if like you put your bananas on wrong and like they scan incorrectly and you're like,
Yeah.
help. And then they like just come on over and they're like chatting with you, whatever.
That's true. We didn't even. That does kind of make me wonder as to how the produce was carried. Because you're right. At like a self checkout at like any other grocery store, when you go to self checkout, you do like 4011 for bananas or whatever.
Number,
Is it? Yeah. 4011, and then you weigh it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would do that here because there was no.
The cart weighs things. Put it in the cart, and then they would weigh it based on how much is added.
That would be hell.
That's what I'm saying. This is
No,
not a nice
that's not.
place.
No,
This is not-
this is not a nice thing. I feel like the idea of it is
You're
much
done with
better
it.
than the execution. And then when you leave, it's like,
It's not a good idea.
so like you come to the end and like I start walking towards self checkout, and the woman who's there because she is there for 400 hours of community service. Next one over. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, you know. And so like I push my cart and I go through, and it's basically like an airport.
Yeah.
What are those things called? When you walk, those like airport scan things where they're like, okay, next, you know. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What are those things called?
I don't know what they're called. Anybody who's been to an airport.
The scanner things where you have to
Yeah.
like stand, you know, like the certain.
security scanner.
Yeah, the security scanner thing. It's like that, and you walk by, and then the cart either turns green or yellow based on your purchase. And mine turned yellow because I had the wrong card pulled up, and so I had to switch the card out, which was a pain in the ass. And then it finally turns green, and then it's like, bloop. What did you think? And we just had the most stressful experience, and I'm like, it was okay. Is basically how I said. This was not a good experience. It's not necessarily like a bad experience.
Right. Well, I would say I disliked it.
Yeah. That was the first thing you said to me when we walked in.
I knew I didn't like it. It's exact opposite of what I want to experience in my everyday life.
Yeah. As soon as I
No.
brought my phone out, and
I would rather go outside and pick my own vegetables and have to walk into an Amazon
Right.
Fresh store again.
I walked in and I scanned I was trying to figure out with my phone how to get the in-store code, and you're like, get off your phone. And I'm like, I have to set up the cart. And you're like, I hate this place already.
No.
Kids are like, and what were the kids doing? Oh, right. So like we're at a grocery store, and they're like, I forgot about this part. We're at a grocery store, and they start throwing things in the cart,
Yeah.
and the cart's like, brang, brang. The cart's like,
Oh yeah.
because they didn't scan it. The cart's like tripping out. It's like
Oh my gosh.
something's in the cart. Something's in the cart.
And then they're hanging on it, so you can't figure out what they put in, or if it's them. It's like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, no.
All right, so let's rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
For me, it's 2 thumbs down.
2 thumbs down.
Yes, I didn't. I mean, I think that probably like maybe a bit of my privilege that I can go shop at a grocery store that I like better than that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a fine grocery store for like a third world country or like, you know.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Like, I feel like that the prices were Whole Food-esque prices.
I would drive far to go somewhere else and
Yeah.
not have to go there again.
because it is.
I love Whole Foods.
I feel like this was aimed at that demographic.
I disagree.
You don't think so?
No.
Because of the experience? I feel like the amount of tech.
experience and because of the selection.
Hmm.
I feel like the selection was subpar.
It was. So I
Yes.
don't grocery shop as much as
It
you
was
do.
subpar to any grocery store.
Really?
I feel like it was basically like grocery shopping in a Walmart.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, like a super Walmart that has like all of the
Yeah.
grocery items.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
So just like a couple options.
Yes.
You know what? Now that you say that, the ice cream, the only option of ice cream they
Yes,
had
that's what-
was Amazon Fresh.
Correct.
They didn't have like Blue Bunny or anything like the
There's-
other
there's
options. It
nothing
was just
else.
like, this is it.
Yeah.
You get our ice cream and that's it.
Mhm.
Now that you say that, I same thing with the milk. It was like their brand milk.
Mhm.
You know, I didn't catch that while we were doing that.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much one brand of everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, it had a section that said kids cereal. That kind of threw me off.
What is it? What does that mean?
I don't know. That's kind
Did
of
we
weird
go
thing to
down there?
say. No, but like you know how at the top of a grocery store aisle it says like what's in the aisle.
Yeah.
This one it said kids cereal.
Kids cereal?
Kids cereal. Yeah. I don't know. So that was a little different.
A little like the sugary stuff, I guess. I don't know. What's kids cereal?
Well, it's probably the stuff that they market to kids, but
Right.
it was just like, I don't know.
That was a little weird, I guess.
I just thought that was weird.
Yeah.
Not like a reason why I don't like it, but also just feel like it's very out of touch of like super reality in general. It's just like it's just have a cereal aisle.
Yeah.
You're fine. It's not like you have that many selections. You have like one brand of pasta, but you have like a kid's. I don't know. It was just.
I
Weird.
wonder how
It was a
many
weird place.
locations
I feel
there
like it was
are.
made by Chat GPT.
It did give that vibe.
Yes.
Like it was like,
It was.
we need to create a grocery store.
It was a
what does a
grocery
grocery store
store
look like?
that you would find in The Sims. I know I say that about a lot of things nowadays. Like that's something that looks like it'd be in The Sims.
Yeah,
This grocery store was like a Sims grocery store.
you're right.
It was a Sims grocery.
It was
store.
a Sims grocery
Yeah,
store.
down to adding the food to the cart.
That was very much my lead. I was getting, in fact, I feel like a little triggered recording this podcast
Yeah,
of how angry
same,
it got
just
me.
for my dislike
Yeah.
of the place.
Yeah, it was.
It was a dark place. I felt like it.
It
Just,
was.
Yeah.
It wasn't lit very well, and now
No.
it was late at night. Well,
No,
it wasn't. What time was it? Like 8:30.
Grocery stores are usually bright.
They usually are like uber bright, like fluorescent lights.
It was
This
just-
was darker. 3 people were working there.
wasn't much going
Selection
on.
sucked. It was super stressful to have the kids hanging on the cart and adding it, and it was really hard to remove it. I'm not gonna give it a thumbs down because I do think that somebody else might enjoy it. Like this wasn't a Carvana experience where I just left like pissed, you know? But I did not leave it where I was like, can't wait to do that again, you know?
Yeah, not to bring up Carvana, but I'm surprised that you were pissed because I actually think that was pretty decent.
You liked the Carvana experience? Well, you didn't have to deal
I
with
didn't
them.
do any of it, but
You
from,
just saw your car pull up.
from my end, it was great.
Right. Yeah. So I feel like that's how we are on the Carvana experience.
Mm.
I'm the one who generally has to go buy the cars. I'm the one who has to deal with all the
Mhm.
people. I'm the one who
Yeah.
has to go through all the process and the whatever. And then, you
That
see
wasn't up to your liking.
Carvana was awful.
Right. And then the other side, I'm the one that does the grocery shopping,
Yes.
and this was just not up to
And
my
I'm like,
liking.
I got my groceries.
Yeah.
You know,
And I'm
whatever.
like,
it is what it
"Ooh,
is.
You gotta give me the heebie-jeebies. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like it would be something like with like On the Purge or something,
I can see that.
or like Black Mirror.
Definitely Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Which I started watching Black Mirror. That show is creepy.
How do you start watching it?
I watched it down here.
We have Netflix.
Sydney gave me her login, and
You're sneaking in the basement watching Netflix.
she wanted
I did not
she wanted
even-
me to do a reaction video to one of the Black Mirror episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
Like Jane is awful, I think is what it's
Was it
called.
one of the new ones?
Yeah. Yeah. She said that like every episode's different, so it's
Yes.
not like you have to watch the
No.
season or something.
Right. Was it scary?
No, I honestly hated it.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. Did I just say that it was good before that? Because it's not. It was awful.
The show?
Yeah, it was very boring. And it had some like some lady was in it that was supposed to be like, I don't know, maybe it was like Selma Hayek or something.
Hmm.
It's like some guest actress or something like that. It sucked though. It was very slow moving. It was awful.
Was there an Amazon Fresh in it?
It might as well have been. The lady was very Amazon Fresh vibe.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely it was awful. It was awful. It was about like this woman who runs a tech company, and she was just like, I don't know. Like, I would say we should watch it, but I'd never want to see it again. To be
Okay, that's
honest.
fine.
So that's our Amazon Fresh review. I'll give it a neutral. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. I got my groceries. I kind of like the idea their idea. The execution was very poor. I'll give it like,
I don't see how they could make it any better.
I think that they
I think.
could. It's just,
How do you think they could make it better?
how could they make it better? The removing things from the cart has to be way better. That was, honestly, if it wasn't for that, I feel like it would have been a decent experience.
Right. Okay.
The removing of the cart for me was the tipping point. Up
Okay.
till then, like the fact that I got to get my phone out to scan a QR didn't bother me. I know that
Mhm.
bothered you, and the kids are like, they're in a new place and they're like, whoa, computers, carts, new. And so they're like kind of like trying to do things. That didn't necessarily bother me. Keeping things out of the cart was whatever. You know, we did have to deal with that with kids kind of anyways. So that wasn't that big of a deal. But when it came to removing it,
Okay.
and then it's like adding things that were never even in our cart,
I gotcha.
that was frustrating.
Okay. Well, I think maybe people could check it out and see what they think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would recommend it?
No, I would not recommend it.
So,
but I'm saying-
so don't be like, hey guys, why don't you go check it out?
but
See what
I'm
you think.
saying, since you think it was decent and I don't,
I think
sounds
it
like
was a
people need to
neutral
just
neutral
check it out.
experience. Neutral experience.
See what people think. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you guys have been to Amazon Fresh. If you guys think it's better than neutral, or if you're on Team Haley and you think that you never want to go back there again and you'd rather go pick wild berries. Did we get any beer there? We didn't get any beer. Was there beer there?
I don't know. Right.
I didn't even see any beer. Yeah, I don't know. Well, thanks for hanging out, guys. This has been the Work Forever.
Probably had like boxed wine. No, they did have wine. I'm not gonna get into it. Let's go.
This is the Work Forever podcast. You can listen to iTunes, Spotify. You can go to goworkwherever.com for any and all homegrown episodes. You can go to homegrownwithhaley.com, which you got a new quiz up there.
Is it up yet?
I don't know. We got 2 quizzes though,
You
right?
got a lot of quizzes.
Lots of quizzes coming. And you got a couple more downloadables coming.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you talk a little bit about that? real quick?
And a
'Cause I haven't seen any
homeschool
of them.
jumpstarting course. So for those who are interested in starting homeschooling or wanting to know how to start or where to start, I've got a great course that's coming out that will get your homeschool up and running in a week.
Nice.
Yeah,
That was what you gave to Des today to put over?
that's what we have started working on. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay, so you can go to homegrownwithhaley.com for those, or HaleyEdwards.com. It goes there as well. I checked that the other day. And then you can listen to all episodes of the Work River podcast at goworkriver.com. Let us know in the comments what you think about Amazon Fresh, if you've ever tried it, if you agree with us, if you disagree, let us know. You got anything else before we go?
Plant a garden
Plant a garden.
while you still can.
Well, before the robots take over. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Until next time. Salute! Hey there! Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for all the latest videos from Capital Presence.